it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel and to another design team project for Kindred stamps. We are playing with the Winter Friends stamp set, and I am going to be making something other than a card today. So I decided that it would be super fun to make an ornament out of some of these images. And at that, I wanted to make a more masculine or boy type ornament today. I have a ton of glitzy, glittery, girly stuff in my stash right now. So I want to diversify a bit and add something a little bit more masculine. So I am stamping out my images using VersaFine Nocturne ink, VersaFine Claire, and I'm going to heat set that with some clear embossing powder, and then I'm going to be able to color this very easily. So I'm only going to show you the coloring today for the top two images, the boy and his deer. He's a man actually, the man and his deer. And I show the coloring for the other images in the previous Winter Friends Kindred Stamps design team video that I did. And so if you want to check out that coloring, I'll link that below as well. Okay, so I'm going through here and you can see what colors I'm using for these images. I'm using some Arteza Real Brush pens, and that is a watercolor pen. I'm going to be using a couple colors for each of the images, such as for the shirt and the pants, hair, skin, things like that. So I put down the darkest of the colors, and I'm going to then put down the second color and then pull that out with a brush. Some of the areas, like I believe the skin, I used the color called Fair Skin, and I just pulled that out just to make it a little bit lighter even still. So you can see me go through here now. I chose some kind of earthy tones for this little guy's outfit because the deer was very earthy. And so that is why I chose to kind of stick with this palette. Again, it's a masculine card, and so I was even tempted, even in this, to go to like a bright blue or a bright green, but I ultimately decided to dull it down just a little bit. This is still very pretty green and green combination, but I really wanted to match the background that I chose as well, so you'll see that in just a minute. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I am on a mission to, well, I have two missions. I'm a very ambitious woman this holiday season, but I have two goals. One is to make 250 holiday cards, and the other is to use pattern paper. And so I hit both of these goals, getting closer to the goal with this video. Now, this is not a card, granted. It is not a card. However, if I wanted to, I could take this ornament and attach it to a card, and then it would be a card and a gift. So, boom, double whammy. So we'll see how that works out. But I am wanting to use pattern paper too. I have a ton in my stash. So although I won't be able to directly tell you where I got this, because I got most of my pattern paper from the craft store at 50% off or using a coupon, I can at least encourage you to use what you have, because I know you all are hoarding your paper. Don't lie. And honestly, it's okay, because I think that we are collectors of these things as much as we are hobbyists. That's just my take on it. So talking about this cute little reindeer here, I am actually not happy with the color that came out for the snout and the ears. I thought it was too red or an auburn color. And so I let that dry, and then once it's dry, I'm going to go back in and add a little bit more of a brown color. So this will darken it up quite a bit. When I list the colors of the reindeer for the Arteza markers I used, I'm going to list the end state colors, so you'll see which ones that I used. But I love how he has like multiple colors all over his body. I thought that really gave him lots of dimension and lots of fun. And then lastly, I'm going to finish up the antlers and then that little saddle that he has on his back. Yeah, that's to pull the sled, right? Because we don't ride reindeer. They're not like horses. Okay, so here we go. I'm just kind of finishing up adding some of those final colors. And I really like the way those colors came out. They're super fun. Very earthy. Okay, so next step in this card making is I'm going to take a circle die, and I am going to cut out my pattern paper, which is the woodland paper on the left, another circle, and then I'm going to make a hillside to match exactly my circle die. My nesting dies are from Stampin' Up! From circa 2007. So any circle dies will work for this. And then right here I'm adding my hill. That's a Lawn Fawn Hillside border die. I'm going to add some sparkle to it with a Nouveau pen because it's snow. And then I'm going to add some sparkle to the branches in the back as well. This pattern paper is very, very pretty. And now I'm pulling out some of this cardstock, which is linen, I believe it's called. And there's lots of glitter and shimmery paper in it. I cut all my 12 by 12 paper packs down to 6 by 6, easier to work with. And now I am trying to make a frame. This is ultimately going to be on the cover of my ornament. And that's because I want acetate over the ornament. It's not a shaker, but I want it protected. I want it to protect the images underneath. And so I'm making my frame because I'm going to need to put glue behind the acetate, and this frame will hide said glue. Okay, so I get my frame cut out. I'm happy with all of my pieces. I also cut out a piece of acetate from that same circle die cut, same size. And now I'm trying to place where I want to put my things. My sentiment is going to say, you're my best buddy. And totally suitable for these two little characters here because they are just the best of friends. And so I'm getting everything lined up and just trying to make this as straight as possible. I do not have one of those acetate grid sheets. Oh, we're going to interrupt our regularly scheduled program to show you that AJ colored in these two little characters while I was crafting. He wanted to color, and I can't turn that down. So I stamped them out for him, and there you go. And we're back to our card. So I am stamping out my little sentiment here using some Distress Oxides, and this is in Ground Espresso. I do it a couple times because I want to get a really stark image. And now I'm taking my frame, and I'm going to put some Nouveau glue all around it. You don't want to do this in heavy form because it will glob right out the sides. And we are not about that. So we are going to place a very thin strip of glue with our applicator. And then we're going to place our acetate right on top. Now I put something heavy on these pieces in between the making of the card. So here you can see that. And then I pick it up through the power of film editing. We're ready to go. But you want to make sure that that is dried and it's not going to slip around on you. Now I'm going to place down flat both of my images, again using some Nouveau glue. Nothing is popped up and no dimension here because we're just going to make this as flat as possible, which it really would be kind of cute to throw into a card as a gift for someone. So again, heavy blocks on there because I want everything to lay flat and glue nicely. I am so loving those little guys. So cute. Kindred, you do awesome stamps, as you all already know. Okay, then I'm going to place this on some really strong cardstock. I don't even want to call it cardstock. It's more like chipboard. It is basically the back of the Bristol Smooth card pack or pack that I bought. It's that last sheet, which is like chipboard. And then I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile and punch a hole in there. Again, heavy blocks. This is in between each of the stuff. I want everything to stick. And there you saw me assemble my card. Now, I would recommend using your Crop-A-Dile last after you put everything together, but I was afraid it wouldn't go through. I don't know why. I apparently have not used my Crop-A-Dile in a while because that thing is industrial strength. So it worked just fine, but I would recommend that. And then I just pulled out some silver ribbon from my stash. Any ribbon would do fine for this because you're going to be hanging this from the tree. And then I'm going to trim that down, and that will conclude our tutorial on this ornament using the Kindred Stamps Winter Friends stamp set. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to head over to the Kindred Stamps shop and pick this awesome set up. It could not be more appropriate for the wintry season. And we will link everything below so that you can check them out yourselves. Don't miss anything from us by hitting subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.